Hello and welcome to Good Games Well Played, episode 222. I'm Clint, aka JCM. With us this week is Miss I
No,
and Isley.
Yo,
I know I did that backwards for Isley's
yeah,
sake.
you
out of
did.
order.
I was
Yeah,
ready.
I I
That top billing.
I, I forgot to turn my own monitoring off, so I was hearing myself talk, and it threw me out for a second. And I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna roll right through it." But I said Zai instead of Isley first, so he's like, "Damn it, I was all ready to go."
Me first.
Yep. But yeah, there's not too much to go over this week. I mean, we had a lot of stuff that came out, like Jump Ship, which is a game I'm really interested in. We've talked about it on the pod. Like we played Void Crew together, Zai and I, and along with Michael. Oh my God, this Steam started playing a video. And this is kind of like Void Crew meets Left 4 Dead because you can actually get out of your ship and you know, go around and fight stuff in first person style. And I was like, oh, that seems really cool. But that came out in their closed alpha. Just released, which is getting pretty good reviews. I was reading the IGN early access review for it, so I'm excited for that. I don't know how much it is in early access. I'm trying to look it up here on Steam real quick. Once I find it, I'll come back to it later. But then there was like DLC for Donkey Kong. There was there's surprise DLC for Adamfall came out, which I had no idea was coming. I have it in. Let's see, I have it on my wish list. It's called the Red Strain, and it looks based on the trailer. It wasn't part of the season pass. It's like an extra thing where it seems like it's a proper standalone DLC, where it's like its own. When you go there, it's its own thing. Versus like which I talked about for the first DLC, how it was kind of parallel to the story and not necessarily isolated. You do them in tandem. It just gives you like 3 different endings as well, but you're always going back to the main story areas, not just the DLC areas. But this seems like it's only DLC. But so I was like, damn, now I got another surprise drop game I gotta play. It's like there's too much. Because yeah, Dying Light the Beast came out this week as well, reviewing really well. I gotta pick that up at some point. It's like there's too much stuff, man. Like all the games. And what's crazy is like I'm waiting for October 10th when Battlefield comes out, and then I'm gonna be like, all right, this is gonna be like the game I'm probably gonna play like all the time.
Once
So
that
I'll be
comes
like,
out, it doesn't matter what else comes out.
yeah, it's gonna be like, all right, well, I guess I'm just gonna be playing this. There's Jump Ship. Jump Ship's yeah, $20 early access. I definitely want to try that out. Ah! I hate it when I click on a Steam game and it starts playing the video and it's like super loud. I'm like, stop it.
Turn that off.
I I know I gotta. Well, I need to mute it because usually if you keep it muted, like it's always muted. But I clicked on the store page. I was like, oh my bad. But yeah, it's got very positive reviews. I think people are really enjoying the the release, and we had some fun with Void Crew. I mean, it had some limitations. I know they've had lots of updates since we played it, but Jump Ship seemed like
Oh, yeah.
definitely much more my speed because it's like okay, you still do the ship stuff, but like it seems fun to like actually because they have those missions in Void Crew where we go out. It's like oh, you have to get out of the ship and go like raid a base to get an artifact and bring it back to the ship. But typically, it's
Mhm,
like one person leaves the ship and the other ones have to defend the ship from the invading like aliens or whatever. It's like
mhm,
okay, and when you're the one grabbing the artifact, like there's not too much you have to do. Like there's no fighting. But I like the idea, like okay, maybe this is like we go somewhere, we're fighting shit in the ship in space, but like we all land on a base and we fight these robots and we go and do whatever. And like that seems like okay, now you're combining what I love, like FPS games, into this as well, and that seems like it'd be super fun. I should gift it to you both, and then you and Michael, and then we should all like play it for like just under that 2 hour window to see how it is.
I don't
But yeah,
know, as the person who got out of the ship a couple times and went to the base to get the things, it's horrifying. It's a little terrifying.
yeah,
So, that's
because
enough for me.
you are like stranded. Where you're like, we're like, oh, we gotta come back. We gotta come back. Well, we're too busy flying away. Like, I remember that one. I think they targeted you. Like, we didn't think they could lock onto the player. They'd lock onto the ship only. But it's like, nope, they'll target the player.
I'm standing in the doorway of a big warehouse with a canister like, "Wait, come back.
I
I'm
need
running out
help.
of oxygen."
Yeah. Yeah, it looks really fun. I definitely want to give it a shot. But it's like one of those things like you have to play multiplayer um
Yeah.
to do it. Like so you should pick it up on your laptop as well. You can play 4 player. And like I said, just under that 2 hours so you can do the return and then see because then if
God,
we
I
like it,
would never. That would be horrifying to do that.
why? You've never done
Oh,
that?
I thought you were. No, I thought you were saying like play it in try to return it if I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you play, that's why Steam's great. Cause like you try something, if you don't like it within that 2-hour window, you just refund it. You're like, okay, I didn't really like it, and it's not PlayStation trophies. So you don't got to have that thing where you're like, oh, now I got these Steam achievements stuck on my thing. It's like you don't got to worry. It's not PlayStation related. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, because that's what we kind of do with Void Crew. Luckily we had fun with Void Crew. We just got to go back and play the updated versions of it. But this seems like way more up my alley. And like more fun. So especially because it's like if you're all flying the ship together, fighting other ships, it's like all right, it feels like what I wish No Man's Sky had, which is just a little more combat. Like combat it does have is fine, but I kind of wish it was a little more involved. I know they have that in multiplayer, but
That's like the funniest feedback for No Man's Sky though, which is the game that was like never meant to have combat. And your thought is like,
well,
well, what if it did? What if it
well,
did
they
have
added it
combat?
like I kind of it'd be fun like those big old freighters that come in. It's like, oh, you got to shoot it. It's like all you're doing is like shooting off the shields and then destroying the weapons, and then you're like negotiating. Are you going to take it? Do you have them give you money? It's like okay, that's fun. Or you can like bring it to your fleet or whatever. But it'd be fun to like board the ship and like go raid it with a group of friends or something. Obviously, that's not in like you said the nature of No Man's Sky, but it's like that seems like really like Sea of Thieves in space seems like really fun. I mean that what's that ex Blizzard dev game that came out? That's oh my god, I'm blanking on the name of it, but it's like very cartoony. And it's essentially PvPvE, and like you can board each other's ships. I think it's reviewed pretty well. I think it's in early access maybe, but
I have
that
no
seems
idea.
oh yeah, I forget what it's called, but that seems kind of like fun. But it's way more PvP, and this is just PvE. It's like I that's why I feel like it'd be fun. That space Left 4 Dead plus Void Crew plus No Man's Sky, I guess, so flying around. But
No Man's Ski.
but yeah, I definitely want to check that one out. But yeah, just a lot of game releases, a lot of DLCs and stuff this week. Not too much news. Just some funny like I know Nintendo's got their whole Pal World lawsuit thing still going, and then we talked about Sony going after Tencent with their very obvious Horizon Zero Dawn marketing like ripoff for their game, which they then changed immediately after Sony, initiated litigation or whatever. And then like, okay, all the marketing doesn't feature the redheaded protagonist. It doesn't show all the stuff. It focuses way more on it being an MMO versus like just being that trailer that's clearly like this looks like a knockoff Horizon. But then they came back and said like, oh well, even Sony said that Horizon Zero Dawn looked too much like Odyssey to the West and stuff like that. It's like that was like early because they had early discussions about they were concerned before they began Horizon. They're like, well, if we have a redheaded protagonist, there's a redheaded protagonist in this other game. Is that bad? It's like, and so they
Mhm.
shelved it for a while, but it's like, it's not exactly the same. Like they just talked about one character. Your game clearly looks like a ripoff, or at least marketing to get people away from, or to like make them think this is Horizon related. So it just seems like a really funny kind of counter
I
claim
mean, they
for
knew
them.
what they were doing though. Like that's all
Mhm.
intentional.
Yeah. Uh, and
You
then
can't say
there's
that in court. You have to make up a bunch of it's stuff. I
right.
hate like, oh, instead of like settling outside or like having some kind of like, dialogue or discussion with Sony about what to change and stuff like that. It's just like, oh no, this isn't no, you don't understand. This is totally different. Not
Yeah.
shut up.
And all it's gonna do is just make it not sellable in the US. Like it'll just be China, and even then, it's still probably gonna
Which
do numbers.
I was going to say they probably don't give a shit about either way. I feel like the whole point of this is like they'll market it in China, they'll sell it in China. They never had any intention of selling it in the US, and that'll be that.
It'll be how much does it cost to do a marketing campaign? How much does it cost to settle a lawsuit? Which one's cheaper? Oh,
Uh-huh.
it's free press. Or it's not free press, but it's like better coverage than anything. It's like, hey guys, look, the Sony's trying to say that our game's the same and they don't want us to sell it in other markets. So you gotta support us and buy it here. Nationalism. But
I
we'll see
roll.
we'll see what happens. But yeah, and then there's like obviously issues with Borderlands 4 performance on console. I know it's one of those games. It reminds me a lot of like Skyrim, where like the longer you play it on console, like the performance starts to degrade. I think FPS specifically, and it's one of those games too, where like there's some games on console that if you put your console in rest mode, like it considers the game still being active. Like games that do your playtime counters way off because it
Mm,
counts it as playtime. This is one of
mhm.
the things like it's like this for
Definitely
my cousin.
playtime counters way off. Definitely not just me dumping hundreds of hours into a game.
Yeah, but, like, my cousin was saying he put Borderlands in rest mode, and, like, yeah, he would notice, like, he would get frame rate issues, a lot, so he stopped doing rest mode for Borderlands, but, yeah,
That's
I don't
weird.
yeah, I and this happened with, Skyrim. Skyrim also had the issue with the save file where the longer you played, the more stuff you did, the worse your save got, which impacted your performance even more. That was, like, a major problem because, Skyrim was like, "We gotta remember where you put every single cup and, cheese roll in the world and sweet roll and everything, blah, blah, blah. You dropped a dagger here in some dungeon, we gotta remember it's there." And so
Oh.
it's like, it wouldn't clear that shit out. It'd be like, your save file would just increase, 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 and then it'd be shit on PS3. But yeah, there's the workaround right now is just close the game and reopen it. But it's like if you're playing it for way too many hours in a row, which is insane to me. But yeah, he's Randy Pitcher's been kind of like it's fine to be a little defensive of a game, but like he's going a little too far with the comments he's making on people and whatnot, especially some PC folks are having issues as well. So
Is that
I'm
not
just
just, like, what he does, though? He just, like, takes it way out of context and way too far, and it's just like, "Okay, shut up."
yeah, I feel like this started with the reveal of Borderlands 3. I think they were at PAX is when they revealed that game, and they had issues, and he blamed the staff for the problems, if you remember that. And it's like, okay, you can't do that. Because like
Well,
the
didn't I feel like all the drama with him started, maybe I'm misremembering, but like didn't they like
with the lawsuit
misappropriate funds from
that
like
was with
the
a
Aliens game into Borderlands?
that was okay, so there was they didn't directly do Aliens Colonial Marines. Someone else did it, like another group. I believe Gearbox was either they were, because they're also a publisher now. So I think back then it was like, okay, we'll give the work to this third party who will manage to do it. And then yeah, there was some concerns that they siphon funds. There was another guy that they had a lawsuit with who like took a bunch of money. There was issues with a hard drive that got taken as well. Like there's this whole thing there, but that was like more internal management, not so much here where I'm just talking about Randy Pitchford being a little like too. He's kind of an awkward guy, but I feel like in the past couple years and whatnot, his awkwardness makes him a little too defensive, but like in all the wrong ways. And it's like I feel like he's not someone who's very good with that kind of public speaking pressure. And then, especially when I've seen him on stage, like that PAX thing when I mean, it's gotta be rough when something goes wrong. But then, he did the whole card trick on stage and whatnot, which is really silly.
He's just, like, takes everything really personally, it seems like.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's gotta be especially like you mix that awkwardness, the social awkwardness with passion for what you're doing, with anxiety. It's got to be like, it like, oh no, people see this product that a franchise or something that I love that our studio's doing. There's an issue. I got to go on the defensive, and yeah, I mean, it's like if someone says something about you that's clearly not true, it's like, yeah, get defensive. But it's like sometimes you can get
Mhm.
like way too much. It's like, okay, is it worth your time to get that that hardcore? But yeah, I feel like with him, he's just social media sometimes shouldn't be for everybody. But that's why you have social media managers
Mhm.
to corporate speak that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's just a little too defensive with the Battlefield performance because clearly it's like it shouldn't be as bad as it is for some folks, especially with lower end GPUs and whatnot. But they'll patch it hopefully. I'm just glad I haven't had any issues. But again, I'm not trying to run it at like 200 FPS, so I'm
Mhm.
totally fine. Yeah, so there's that going on as well. There's also some hullabaloo. So Escape from Tarkov is hitting their 1.0 uh, version in November, and alongside the 1.0 launch, they're also going to release on Steam. Right now, you had to go through their own launcher to do it. But in order for people who already have the game to play it on Steam, they have to buy the game again. Whereas
Ugh.
other PC games have done it where it's like, oh, here's a Steam key because you're an active player on this launcher. We'll give it to you for free. But they're not
Mm.
doing that. So there's like this huge backlash on Lincoln Community. I'm like, yeah, that seems kind of insane. Like, just give us the Steam. I'm sure maybe they'll change around, but I know they've been kind of shady with some of their Battlestate games with some of their other stuff in the past. So just not very consumer friendly with some of their content launches. So we'll see if they somehow relent and be like, hey, here's the Steam key to existing accounts and what have you. But
That's pretty crazy considering how like obsessive and dedicated people are to
right,
that game when they play it. So it's like give all of your current players a Steam key. Your game will be at the top of the Steam list. Now you have a whole bunch of like new eyes on it that are gonna buy it. Like that seems like free marketing.
yeah, and it's like you have a pretty solid dedicated fan base who
Mm-hmm.
plays that game like consistently. It's like, yeah, you're just giving them. And then I know there's a lot of people who have that storefront issue. Where like, oh, if the game's not on Steam, I don't want to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like really. That always seems silly. Like I don't want to get on Epic Game Store. I want it on Steam, even if it has like eventually well, it's PC, so it's gonna have cross play between those platforms anyways. But like I can see like not wanting to get a game because it has its own dedicated launcher. That can be like, all right, I don't want to do that. I understand. But yeah, this is just like, come on. You're probably gonna get more players because it's on Steam now and 1.0. Just give them
Mm-hmm.
the option to give the existing players the option to just play it there. But yeah, it's weird. But some other news, Dispatch, which is the superhero kind of comedy game from the ex Telltale devs, got a release date for PC and PS5. It's going to be coming out on October 22nd, so right around the corner. It's $30 for the full season. It's going to be episodic. I don't know if they released the release date for the other episodes or how long it will be, like what they plan to do between, the time frame between them. But yeah, that come out soon. I'm looking forward to that because I was like, you know what, this looks fun. I like the voice cast. I like some of the comedy they had in it. They got Critical as that bat guy, so uh, that looks like a fun game. I look forward to playing. I don't know if I'll play it right when it comes out. I'll be playing Battlefield, but probably will play it. Feel like it'd be a good stream game. And then the PS5 controllers got an update where now you can sync the controllers to multiple devices, not just to one. Like right now, you have to, oh, I want to play the PS5 or, in this room, or I want to use it on my PC. I got to resync it to the thing. It's like now you just, with this update, you can have it, connect to multiple different things and you're good to go. And you just kind of choose, which one you assign it. Like they have like these 4 slots, so you can assign like one slot to the PS5, one to a Pro, one to Windows, one to iPhone, and then you just kind of pick that as you go. And it's funny, it uses the. Let me see if I can. You know how on the bottom, or not the bottom, but on the controller, and maybe you never noticed if you didn't play multiplayer on consoles, but like it has the light on the bottom that kind of indicates the controller number. Like in one lights, controller 1, 2 lights is player 2, 3, player 3, 4. So the lights will indicate which device you're paired with, which is a good way to tell, I suppose. But yeah,
I
it's
foresee a lot of people turning on their PlayStation when they mean to play on the computer.
yeah. That's why it's like I always had. I don't play. I think you can play wirelessly with the PS5 controller. I'm assuming you can, but I always keep it wired in.
Mm.
That way, if I hit it, I don't turn on my PS5, and I have like one dedicated PS5 controller on my PC, and I use my DualSense on my PS5. But yeah, so it was funny because like when I booted up Steam, it's like, oh, there's an update for your controller you have to do, and I was like, I've never updated the controller through the Sony website, and then downloaded the controller update app to do it. It's like I've always updated it through the console. Like it was so weird to be like, oh, there's an update. I'm like, oh, okay, I've never done it
How
this
did
way.
you know that?
Yeah, but yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm glad that because that now it's like okay, it'll be easy if I want to, in the future, if I'm going to play like a multiplayer game on PS5 with the kids or something. It's like I don't have to worry about okay, I got to plug this in with the cord, find the cord, make sure I pair it. It's all good because like okay, now I can just assign hey, okay, here's PC, here's PS5, and be good to go. So that's good. And then yeah, that's like I said, not much else for the news. It was just a bunch of game releases, bunch of deals going on. Yeah, not a whole lot of new stuff. I wish I had played some Dying Light, so I could at least comment on that, but I'll just have to wait until I am good. There's also DLC for Assassin's Creed Shadows, that DLC that came out. So it's just a lot of DLC content came out this week, so a lot of stuff to play across the board. But yeah, other than that, we can go ahead and get into what we've been playing. I know all of us have been playing Hollow Knight. Is there anything we've been playing outside of that we can get out of the way before we talk about Hollow Knight more?
Negative.
No.
You just
Nope.
you've
I'm in
just doing
Ragnarok right now,
Ragnarok?
but
Yeah.
I'm sitting in town doing nothing.
Yeah, I've still been playing Borderlands 4. Despite the issues other people have with the game, I have no problems. I'm playing it with my cousins, still really enjoying it. It's funny, like because it's open world obviously, and I'm playing on PC, so I have like the furthest distance possible for loading stuff and detail and all this jazz. They had these like what I think is really fun. They're kind of like Final Fantasy 14 Fates, where like you'll be
Mm.
running in the open world, and then this giant bubble appears, and it's this like mini world boss, and you go inside the bubble and you fight the boss, and if you go outside the bubble, the boss disappears and it's gone. But if you beat the boss, like they have a chance for dropping like some pretty good loot. So it's like this, you have to stay in this arena and you can't go outside it, and that's like the restriction to do the fight. And I always thought it was kind of fun. And some bosses have like a knockback effect depending on the boss. So it's like they could knock you out of the bubble, you know, or you might accidentally, do something parkour wrong and you knock yourself out. So I really like those. It's kind of cool. It's like, oh, we're on our way for a mission. Oh, hey, the bubble, and then you divert and go do something. But the render distance for me, because I'm on PC, is like so much further for the bubble. I'll be like, hey, there's a bubble. My cousin's like, where? I'm like, over there, northeast or whatever. He's like, I don't see it yet. I'm like, okay, tell me when it pops in. And he goes, okay. And then we tested it. Like we saw a bubble, and he walked. Was like, okay, I can see it here. And then I ran back. Like I took my speeder and I like drove like super far back. I'm like, nope, I still see it. It's like so like there's a pretty bad disadvantage on console for how close you have to be for the bubble to render in. So because what I do is there's like these redeploy balloons a la Apex Legends, and I'll take them and I'll just kind of fly around and see if one appears. Because I don't know what the trigger distance is. Like if it's like, oh, like if there's predetermined spots for these bubbles, is it like if player is within, hypothetically 500 meters, roll the dice to see if it appears. And so it's like, does me being is looking and, flying around or gliding down, like, is that beneficial to see them? Or is it like, I can't see any because now I'm also too high vertically for that distance. And now there's a longer diagonal for that, player range that I have to be within to actually trigger the bubble. Cause usually if I'm on the ground, like driving my speeder, they don't pop like too far away, but a decent distance, but usually not nearly as far as when I, fly up in the sky and glide down. So I'm wondering like,
Mhm.
is this worth doing? Like, should I not do this or should I just like run around? But I really like it. It leads to fun little side activities that you can do just in the world. I think it's really cool. We had one that was on an island, and then my cousin, I don't know what he did. I think he used an ability or like a grenade or something, but it knocked the boss out of the arena off the island and into the water.
Uh,
But it was like this slow ass, like zombie like dude, I guess. So it was like, there's no way this motherfucker's gonna get to us. I'm like, I'm just gonna give up because we can't shoot him because he's in the water. And the shield also prevents bullets from going in and out. So you can't like farm it from outside the shield. It blocks
mhm.
bullets. And like, well, I guess we can't get him. It's like he's walking to the shore, but his animation is like take a couple steps, stop and roar or whatever. Take a couple steps, stop and roar, and it's like it's gonna take too long. I'm just gonna give up. Let's just get out of here. We'll come back to it
He's just
later.
standing outside the bubble like, "Ha ha, sucker."
Yeah, and then it was funny. Like, so when you drop like the grenades, my cousin's like, "Oh, I got a grenade for you. I'm gonna drop it, and you could take it because he's been playing, doing like side stuff offline when we're not playing. So he's a couple levels higher than me. So sometimes he'll like drop things that are higher level for me to use later. And so he drops his grenade, but you like it because it's a grenade. It's round, so he drops it and he's up on this hill above the lake, and then it just starts rolling down the hill and into the water. And it's like if something goes too deep in the water, you can't grab it. He's like, "Oh, well, the grenade's gone." Like, what happened? He's like, "Oh, I didn't realize when you dropped it, it would just roll away." I was like, it's a grenade, my guy. It's a ball." Like, so it was pretty funny. It's like, oh well, I don't need it, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's satisfying. I turned it up to the max difficulty because I was worried that it was going to be too spongy, but I haven't noticed that at all. Like it's still like you feel really strong as a player if you use it. I mean, I have two pretty good guns, Mally ones that have like the elemental stats you need for like taking down the shields or taking down armor and just burning enemies in general. So
Mhm.
uh, yeah, it's just it's pretty fun. There is a like this weird bug where like there's this main character who has like this secret lab, and you have to interact with this character a lot. But it's like, oh, go talk to I forget the character's name. It's like go talk to the person, and I teleport to her lab, but I can't interact with her. it's like for some reason I have to enter her lab from the secret waterfall, which is how you find it originally, in order for it to trigger the dialogue. And it's such a weird like bug. And then I had one where it was like, I went to go talk to her for the MSQ, but then my cousin was somewhere else talking to another NPC. He had like a side quest active. So when I talk to her, she's doing her animation for the start of this quest, but she's not saying anything because this other character for the side quest that my cousin's doing is talking. And then she just gets kind of soft locked where she just stands there and doesn't do anything. So I'm like, how do we fix this? And then I'm like, okay, let's quit and restart the session and then just run to her normally. And that fixed the problem. So it was like, that was probably our bad. Like we shouldn't have done that. But the whole needing to enter her base from the one side and not fast traveling to it is a little weird. I'm hoping they patch that. But yeah, it's other than that, I'm really it's a fun time. The grapple mechanic is okay. That's something that like I'm gonna complain about the grapple in Silksong later, but the grapple in Borderlands is so fun and the ease of use is so good that I'm just like it makes the grapple in Silksong annoying. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Borderlands. But
I
all
was
right, we can go
having
ahead and
this
talk
moment of
Silksong.
like, there's a grapple in Silksong, but
Yeah, it's very limited. Well, obviously it's limited in Borderlands as well, but we can talk about Silksong. Yeah, but I don't like the grapple mechanic in Silksong. It's I don't know, man. The grapple platforming it feels too clunky to me, and it just could be because I'm playing Borderlands, where I don't like how level you have to be with the ring to do it. Like you can't grapple up. I'm like, you can't grapple any
Mhm.
direction. Like, can you not make this like a directional hook? I I
I
wish
thought
that
it
would
was
like
gonna be very much like Ori, where you do like you target it and then you can pick which direction you like launch from it, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like not really having to be it's very precise in Silksong, I noticed.
yeah,
You can shoot over it or you can shoot under it. But I thought it was gonna be more of a like you target it or you go towards it and then from there you choose the direction that you go. Which in
or
Ori was good. It's makes it very challenging, but in this one it's very different.
yeah, it's like you have to be like level, like almost perfectly level. Like you can't be too high or too low. And I thought it would be something like I assume okay, there won't be a target like there is in Borderlands or other thing like you're saying but I thought it would be like, oh, if it's like at the 2 o'clock position, I just have to jump and then press, if I have to jump to reach it, jump and then press like upright and then hit the grapple, R2, whatever it is, and then then or L2, whatever the button is, and then it'll like okay, that's your input for the direction you want to grab. We'll shoot it that way and then kind of give you a little, okay, a certain degree of variance will allow, and then, we'll grab it for you. Because there's other times there's bugs like floating in the air you have to grab. I'm like, what if I want to just grab the bug above me? Like, don't make me platform all the way left to have to platform all the way right because of the way it works. It's a little
I mean, I
annoying.
I don't love how the grapple works. I kind of get it of like I just use the grapple or the needle thing, whatever you want to call it, to essentially further boost me left or right. I almost never use it
Mhm.
to actually grapple things, or I will use it to get specifically to like a wall and wall jump off of it because I feel like that's the only thing it's actually useful for is furthering your distance or getting to a wall faster. There's one area where like you have to use it as intended, and I hated that area.
Yeah.
Uh, like using it as intended, it doesn't feel great. And I kind of have this opinion about a lot of the abilities in Silksong, where when I felt this way with the dash at the beginning of like, or the diagonal pogo at the beginning, which like the diagonal pogo doesn't really feel good until you get the dash. And it feels like it was all meant to like happen at the same time, or like the abilities were designed together, which is good. But then by themselves, when you get the abilities, they feel clunky. And I feel that way about the grapple too, that like uh semi spoilers, but the grapple doesn't make sense to me without another ability that you get later on.
Yeah. Like a double jump or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like the
Yeah.
grapple makes sense when you have the double jump to me, but without the double jump, it feels weird. And it just feels like a lot of the abilities are like a little out of order of like, I know they can't give them to you all at the same time, but because the movement is designed together, when you don't have something, it feels strange.
Yeah. Like I've kind of used it for that extra boost it gives. I've used it to like grab enemies, and at least when you grab enemies, it also kind of makes you jump up so you're not like
Mhm.
right in the way of their attacks, depending on the enemy it is. But yeah, I don't really use it. But yeah, when you have to in that lava area you go to, and it's like, okay, now you have to use it. Like you got it. Now you have to use it as intended. I'm like, I just don't like it at all. I'm like, it just not. And I'm hoping it's only. I'm sure there's going to be platforming sections later that require it in like Act 3 or something like that. But at least it seems, for the most part, the areas you use it to get up somewhere, it's like, oh, it's just one ring to roll them all. And then you're like, yeah, that's how you get up into the area. You have to be able to grab the ring and then I can go up. But it won't be like, okay, now you got to do this insane platforming, yada yada yada. To that doesn't feel good. But we'll see. Yeah, I just don't like the grapple as it's intended. It does not feel good.
I like the abilities. I don't think I think like some of the hang up is that the abilities are almost designed to be used differently than what we would typically use them for in a Metroidvania. Like the grapple, like I kind of said, it doesn't feel like it's meant to be used as a grapple to me. The pogo, like the diagonal pogo is different. I feel like they were trying different things with a lot of their stuff, which I can respect that they wanted to try different things. I just think that some were more effective than others.
Yeah, it's fine. I really love the diagonal jump. Like I later there was that bit where we'll talk about the boss later, where it's like I switched to using the fast wanderer crest or whatever. And it's like that
Mhm.
one gives you the downward swipe, very much Hollow Knight style. Um, but because the range is so short, it's not the big swipe from Hollow Knight. Uh, I just don't like it. Like I'm so used to the diagonal.
Oh, I hated the short range on that one. I thought it made it like totally worthless having the short range.
It's great for the like, I used it for that theater bug. It was great for that, but you have to pair it with the weighted belt so you're not moving. That way you can actually do the quick hits. 'Cause it's like,
Mhm.
why do quick hits when you're not gonna be able to hit them after you have a follow-up hit because you get pushed back? But I love the diagonal jump. Like, I'm so used to it now, like, I can't imagine doing any other thing. Like, I'm really curious what other stuff like, the Beast Claw one is so bad. I'm curious what other down swipes there's going to be for other crests in the future. And I really hope there's a way that I can just extend the downward momentum like longer because there's so many times like it's really nice to use it for enemies instead of swiping down because at least I know I'm going to go like back into the left or back into the right. And like continue doing it hitting that way versus having to require to be up on top of 'em. I like having that kind of it's like an evasive downward attack as well because it's diagonal. But I wish, like, I could do it from higher up. And I know they have that tool that lets you, like, just drill straight down. It's like, okay, that's kinda your downward attack, but I'm not gonna use that tool. So,
That tool is actually kind of fun. I've enjoyed that tool.
yeah.
It's fun.
I
The Reaper crest has a direct downward attack and it's pretty long.
Yeah, I don't like the Reaper up swipe. I hate that it's like you have to it doesn't give you like, whatever direction you're not facing, you're not gonna hit if they're too far over on that side, and I don't like that.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
Um
I
because it's like it's a sweeping, it's like an arc
Yeah,
crest.
yeah, it's like a half swipe instead of a full upward swipe of the base one, and with the bird, because I tried when you get it, it's in that bird section, and so I tried using it in that bird fight, and I was just like, I hated it. I was like, I don't like it in this fight, and so, like, that soured me on it.
I
'Cause
feel like the crests, they all need some little downside to it, and
Mhm.
otherwise, obviously, you would just use the one crest. But I do feel like the diagonal being not quite long enough is like the downside to the hunter's crest. But I do strongly think the hunter's crest is like by far the best crest, or it's just like a very solidly average crest that's pretty much good at everything, and I have found very little reason to change from it yet.
Yeah, I could see, like, if I find I have this issue in games, especially, like, Souls games especially, where it's like, "Okay, I'm using this weapon, I really like this weapon. Oh, now you got, like, there's a late game boss weapon that's, like, really good." It's like, "Yeah, but I got so used to using this weapon." I mean, it's like Dead Space, like, you use the cutter, like, all the time, and it's like, "Okay, I got the line gun, I'll use that in certain spots. I got the sonic blast weapon, I'll use that, and maybe the flamethrower, maybe the pulse rifle," but it's like, I go back to the cutter, the base weapon, like, all the time, and there's, like, even a trophy in Dead Space games to, like, only use that weapon. Uh, it's like, it's just I feel like, usually the first thing you get, it's like you can take it to the whole game if you wanted, but I have trouble switching, and I know because it changes the pogoing essentially, it's like that's where my hang up's gonna be, but I can see, like, "Oh, it's a big pogo section, I'll just go back to the 45, pogo through it, and then switch back to my other crest," but I gotta make sure there's a bench nearby or something.
Mhm.
And yeah, so, yeah, so how far are you all? I'm assuming I'm still the furthest behind. I played a lot on Friday. I took the day off. It was great because like I had to do some touch ups on some of my Warhammer stuff, but I was like, it wasn't a lot to really. Typically, like when you do painting, if you have to do like base coating, especially, it's like you got to wait 15 minutes for it to dry before you like continue another layer. And I'm like, I only have 3 models, and the touch ups I have to do aren't going to take me that long. I'm like, okay, I'll just touch them up and then set a timer for 15 minutes, play Hollow Knight, and when it's done, do the next layer of touch up, go back to Hollow Knight. So I was like alternating Warhammer with Hollow Knight on Friday. So I got pretty far. Or like I do a boss. If it took me a couple of times, I'm like, all right, let's go back to painting some Warhammer, take a break, and just paint Warhammer for like 40 minutes, and then go back play Hollow Knight. But I'm in that section where you have to find the 3 songs. And I got
Oh wow,
the
you
I
did make it far.
Mhm.
yeah, so I had got the bottom right one that's below the dude with the centipede with the hat. So I have that one, and then I just got the ring ability not too long ago. I got that on Friday as well. So like I can now get. I'm assuming the one in the top left. I can't get the one in the middle, who's like whatever they call that center chamber. I think it's called center chamber, but like because I think that one requires a double jump to get up. So I'm assuming I must get the double jump after I complete the area where the second song is on the top left. But I also forgot that when I got the double jump, the wall jump, that it allowed me access to Sinner's Road. And I went there once, but I was like, oh, I have no map. I'm just gonna come like I was exploring like, oh, where's all the areas? When I got the double jump, I was like, or the wall jump, I was like, where can I go that required the wall jump? Oh, let's go here. Let's go here. And then I went, it's like Sinner's Road. I'm like, okay, well, this is a new zone. I'll come back to it later. And I forgot it was even there. So I was like, I went and explored some area. It was an earlier spot. I think it was I was going back to Hunter's March, and in that top area where you fight that big dude, the side boss that gave everybody trouble, the big buff bug with the bone sword.
Mhm.
He's
Savage.
up there
Oh,
again.
I was like Savage Beastfly. No, you meant the
No,
bug. Yeah.
yeah, the dude that jumps, it's like you need a dash to clearly beat him. Like he was up there again. I'm like, oh, rematch, huh? This is the reward for getting the ability. He's like gonna fight you again. I'm like, oh, he's gonna kick this. But then I found there's one little area that you can get to. It's like there's a dude and he's got like I'm like, okay, you clearly are a jailer, like from Bloodborne. Like this guy, and then I killed him. But I was like, man, I was like, does he respawn? So I went and rested and went back, and he's on there, just some ants. It's like, damn it, I should have let him take me because I'd imagine he's gonna take me someplace I got to break out, just like in Bloodborne. And
Yep.
then when I went back and
Mhm, that's
found
exactly what he does.
Yep.
when I went
Like
That's
back
a
and
that
bug
is
nap.
exactly what he does.
when I found out about when I went back to Sinner's Road, I'm like, oh, he must take me here. Like I'm assuming that's where he takes you, because there's another bug there that's in jail that you need a key for, that you can find. But yeah, so I went. I hate those dog bug things in Sinner's Road, man. This guy's
Oh, those
annoying.
guys are awful. They're so easy to like fight, but they're one of those fights where it's just frustrating to fight them, and it
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
pisses me off. Like they're not hard, they just piss me off.
yeah, yeah. I hate anything that grabs you and interrupts you for a couple seconds through animation. I'm like, okay, you're bugging me. I
Yeah,
hate you.
and it's like you can't pogo them because their grab overrides. Like if they're doing the grab animation, it overrides all of your abilities. So there's
Oh,
no
interesting.
attacking them while they're in that ability, which always pissed me off because it feels like I should be able to like pogo off of those things. I can pogo off of spikes, so I should be able to pogo off of an enemy trying to grab me.
Yeah.
Um,
Or parry at least, because you can if you pogo someone who's swiping, you just parry the swipe. So it's like
right.
let or deflect rather, but it's like let me deflect the bite.
Mhm.
But yeah. But yeah, so I ran through some of Sinner's Road. I'm like I still have like a I wanted to go through it all the way. Like I got the map because I found the bench and it's like, oh, the bench is stuck. Okay, well there must be some way to get this thing unstuck, just like with the booby trap bench early game. So I'm like run around. Luckily, the breakable wall in that area is like super obvious. So I was like, okay, let's break this thing. Got it unstuck. And then I was like, I got the bottom right when I was looking at the map. I was like, okay, there's probably like a boss there, and there's the top part. I'm like, okay, like this big tall upper tunnel, and I was like, okay, I should go up there because I'm assuming that leads to another zone that might lead back up to the what's that the like the vault or whatever wherever that centipede bug is. I'm assuming it leads to a zone that goes someplace else. But anyway, so I'm just kind of like going around trying to see if I'm assuming I've missed based on how the map looks. I'm like, it's going to be way more compact than this. It's not going to be like Castlevania Symphony of the Night where there's like some pretty big gaps. It's like it's very compact, and from what I remember of Hollow Knight, I'm assuming it's very much the same way. Like if there's a gap somewhere, I'm like, that's a zone. But
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't think I've found anywhere where it's like, oh yeah, this giant gap in the middle of the map is not a zone. I don't think I've found anything like that yet.
Yeah,
They're
so
all pretty
that's
much zones.
yeah, that's how far I am. I have to do the other two songs as the main MSQ, and then I've just been kind of doing side quests, hunting down merchants. I got to kill that
So,
bloat fly again.
God, I'm trying to think of like how to ask because you can kind of go with branching paths now. Uh, so like you haven't done Sinner's Road yet.
Well, I've done the bulk of it now. I just have to finish going to the bottom right. I just didn't last yesterday because I was like, it's probably going to be a boss, and I don't want to fight a boss because I haven't found a fast travel. So I'm like, I don't want to lose all my beads because I had so many
See,
beads. So I was like, I just
you
got to get out of here.
you haven't fought the boss in Sinner's Road.
Yeah,
So that's like your map in that direction. You
I'm
found
assuming the bottom right.
Songclave because
Yeah, that's what
well,
they call the first church, right, or whatever the first thing they
that's
call it,
like
Songclave. Yeah, that's once
the
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
like the
called that
hub.
area name.
until people arrive there, then they call it Songclave because you had that bug outside. It's like, hey, you ring the bell.
Yeah, I
It's
think
like, what
it's
the hell?
Yeah.
Pilgrim's Rest before then, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you have
I've
any
gone like all
zones?
over in that
Yeah, so
area.
like what zones do you have surrounding Songclave? I'm trying to ask this question in a non-spoiler way.
I'm assuming I have most, if not all, because there's so many like subsections of that, and that they have that whole pneumatic tube system. I'll boot it up and I'll see what they got.
Yeah, I'm curious which zones you have in the like Songclave area because that will kind of tell me what I can talk about for my thoughts on the game. And
Yeah, I'll boot it up and I'll let you know once it gets on there. But yeah, I mean, there's so many because there's like the center shaft, there's the underworks area, there's like all these subsections where it's like that's why they have that pneumatic tube. It's like, oh, you want to go anywhere? You have to find the tube system, and I need to put markers down where they are because I know there's one near what do they call it, the Grand Chorus fast travel spot. There is a pneumatic tube right near there. So typically I'll be like, okay, if I got to get to a fast travel, I go to any of the tubes, go to that one, and then I can take the fast travel bug out of here to get someplace else. Yeah, I'll boot it up and see. Yeah, well, Zaya, how far are you? Real quick while I look this up.
I kind of hard without spoilers, so I'm
see,
on the
that's why I
quest.
asked that question.
I'm
Well, I
on the
guess we can.
quest, the same quest where you collect the 3 songs, but
Okay,
I'm only missing 1 because I hate it.
okay,
And,
okay.
I left to go do some other stuff, and I went to some side areas that I hate more than that, so I think I'm gonna go back and do that fight now because
Yeah.
I don't wanna be in these other areas anymore.
Okay, so we're on the same MSQ. We're just not. Yeah, I have like 20. It says 27 hours. I think it's probably like more like 24 because I did the Warhammer painting and pause and doesn't stop the timer. But if I look at the Citadel, Isley, I have the White Ward, the Whispering Vault because you have to get there. I have the Underworks. Obviously, I have that center, the Cogwork Core. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
I have the ability to go to the top left for the second, because I'm assuming you need what I recall, it looks like you need double jump to get to the top of Cogwork Core, and then you need the ring of the grapple hook to get to the top left. So that's I haven't just gone up there yet, but I have like all. Let me share my screen real quick so you can see. In here, I'll just share OBS because I have it up real fast.
I
Well,
know
it'll
I'm
be
like
easier for you to know.
yeah, this is like the easier way for us to discuss spoilers for this. I think I'm the furthest because I've beat that quest that you guys are talking about.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is that like it feels like almost maybe end of Act 2 kind of quest. I did listen to a podcast because I was doing a lot of driving, and there was a section where they were talking about Hollow Knight. They weren't spoiling too much, but they were talking about a lot of things. Like, okay, it very much reminds me of some other games where I won't say it here, but just based about the length of the game, they were talking about it. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. The game's kind of long. Let me do a full screen projection. Let me come on, full screen projection, bud. Sorry, I'm trying to get. It's not projecting, but so you're past that. So
Yeah,
okay,
so I'm
that's
past that. I can't really answer the question about like
if
what,
it's the end
yeah,
of an act or
because
whatever.
that, play through it and it becomes obvious what it is, I
Yeah,
guess is the best way. Like,
yeah. We're okay. Let me share my
yeah,
screen.
so I have, let me
Oh,
check your
too big.
screen.
Yeah, so there's the main areas. Like, see, like this is what I got here. So,
Why can't I see your screen? There we go.
yeah, yeah. Click in Discord. But yeah, so like if there's anything
Okay,
in between, yeah.
so
Oh.
have you? Oh, okay. So you connected Whiteward to the Underworks already, and you found the angled area connecting Whispering Vaults to the Underworks as well. All right, that
Yeah.
answers my question. And you haven't? Have you fought the boss of the Cogwork core area yet? Because you went down and explored, not the upper Cogwork core area, like the lower Cogwork core area.
Like in this, let me hold on. Let me do it. Like this
Yeah.
area right here where my cursor is. I get. I mean, if I have it like on the
Or
map,
sorry,
like
no, that's not where the boss is. That you did fight the dancers because that's how you get there. I was trying to think of the dancers,
the
but that's
Cogwork
how you get
Dancers.
into the core. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're here, right, or
they're
something like that.
no, they're like right at the top because you have to fight them to go into the core and drop down.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't. I
Um,
guess I got to go here. I haven't gone here. I need to do that.
okay, that answers my question. Yeah, so I I have beaten the quest that you guys are on, and I think that I have uncovered all the map because I got 2 trophies for all the fast travel stations and all the terminus hubs. So
Mhm.
I think I have the entire map. I think I have only like a handful of quests left, and I'm kind of just doing general cleanup. And I hit some roadblocks, so I'm trying to get a little bit stronger and do quests for cleanup to help out a little bit since I feel like I'm missing a shit ton of masks, and I'm searching for masks, searching for spool threads, and I found the vendor that like helps you find fleas, so I'm searching for all the lost fleas.
Oh
Nice.
yeah, I got that too. The
Yeah.
flea person.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. And truthfully, I think I've beaten most of the bosses in the game. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 areas where I know that I have like tiny little roadblocks, but I think I've beaten most of them. I did want to talk about like the Cogwork dancers though. If like I really freaking love the lore in this game, and I feel like if you aren't looking in the bestiary and reading about people, you're doing yourself a huge disservice because it's so interesting reading about all the bugs. And it
Mm-hmm.
kind of reminds me of like Souls games where they don't tell you quite enough up front. I wish they like told you a little bit more, but man, there's some good hidden stories in the game.
Yeah, there's some good conversations. Like, there's that one guy, he annoys me a little bit, who's at Songclave, where he's like, yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo. Like, anytime he wants to talk, I'm like, can you just not, please? I'm trying to do something else. It's like, I like talk to him to get it over with. But like, he talks about when Hornet's like, oh, I found some husks of bugs that were being stuffed with silk and being taken over. But then like seeing the final chorus like in the background of a bunch of areas, it's like, okay, is there? And I haven't read any of the entries, which I got to go back and do now that you talked about it. But like, it seems like okay, or they're like a path of very Bloodborne, right? Like, okay, there's a path of doing uh insight versus blood infusions and whatnot. Like, are there like it was the silk a method of because she even says like it's like a method of immortality or something like that. Like it seems like they were trying to extend life through this silk method, but it's like okay, where people like are the mechanical bugs like I haven't looked into it, but is it like something where what if we transfer our consciousness into them very soma, like is that what we're doing like with these guys, like what they're attempting to do, but maybe it's not quite there yet, like automatons versus this other method. So I'd be curious, but yeah, I'm liking it. And from what I've heard from other podcasts, there's definitely way more story. I did hear an interesting Easter egg because they're talking about stuff that like is in the game that you typically very much like Death Stranding, where there's a lot of content in Death Stranding that you could just miss. That's like just side stuff that's like so silly, but like they put time into it. Like any of the like 5-starring certain things, the nightmare sequence you have with the tentacle tongues, like it's all stuff that's just missable, but they still
Mm-hmm.
put it in there. And they were talking about something where like so I won't I had to so it has to do
I
with the
think you
capture.
can spoil it because
Okay. Well, no, because
Zaya and
it's
I are
something,
both further than you.
but this is something that's from later in the game that we're not all at yet. I don't think. Like you might be, but I don't want to.
Did
I
it get spoiled for you then?
I didn't really care. Like for me, like it had to do with like a mechanic of like something that can happen
I just want
to
you. Can
Hornet.
you just message it to me now?
Yeah. I'll just I'll type in your thing and then I'll just
Because
type
now
it
I'm
in
super
Word.
curious what it is.
But like there's it was like this interesting thing where it's like there's something that can happen later in the game, and if you so like you interact, if you find the jailer and they capture you, they take you to, I'm assuming, Sinner's Road. They take you like to whatever location is. Then if you don't do that, but there's this later later game thing that can happen, and then while that's active, if you get captured by that bug again earlier in the game, a different outcome happens. But
Oh,
it's like you have like it's really difficult to do because you have to have that really late game thing happen to you and not kill that jailer bug.
well,
So it's like
the thing that you mentioned is not necessarily a late game thing.
okay. Okay, so yeah, I
That
won't
that
spit
doesn't
I'll
have
keep
to
it
be a
from
late game thing, but I don't know what the alternative outcome you're describing is. But it's not
okay,
necessarily a late game thing.
okay, if you know that thing, if essentially if that thing happens to Hornet and then you get captured, something entirely different happens. So it's like but you would never like the odds that anybody would do that is like extremely low. So it's like
I gotta
it's
look
you
up
know
what actually happens now. That's interesting. We're
yeah,
talking in code, and Zai's
Hmm.
probably like, "The fuck? Just tell me."
Well,
yeah.
I was just thinking I have the jailer bug. I didn't kill it because I didn't go back. I didn't remember. I don't remember where it was, first of all,
Mhm.
because I was on my way to do something else and I went in a random room and then he bug napped me. So I have to go back and like find it. So it's
Is
still
he
alive in my game. So I
do
wonder if
they
I go
stay
back and
there
I don't
when
know.
they
That's the thing is I
yeah,
haven't been back to that room because I don't know where it is. So
oh,
I want to go
interesting.
back and find him and see if maybe he'll capture me again.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cogwork bug or boss fight I thought was it was fun. I mean, it was very basic, but it was a fun fight. And then the theater bug, like my issue when I said like, F that fight, it was more because I was on a time limit. Like I had to leave at 1:30 and it was like I was fighting that guy at like 1 o'clock. And I'm like, so I was like in a rush to beat him. So I was like a little bit was on me, but like it just that it was a fun fight. It was just like I was like, "I just gotta get through this real quick." And like I said, luckily, it didn't take me too long to get through them, but, that was a I did like that fight.
I've
Um,
liked a lot of the fights in this game. There's only been like one or two where I've been like, "This fight is hot garbage. I can't believe you put this in the game."
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's really
But
just,
there's
like,
definitely
side
one or
guys.
two.
Yeah, I feel like all the main like, even the Judge Dredd, like, they were fine, the last judge or whatever. Like, that was a fun fight. The
I
the
loved
Silk
the Last Judge.
yeah.
I loved the fourth chorus. I like most of the human enemies. I hated Savage Beastfly, and
Oh,
pretty
gosh,
much
yeah, yeah.
every fight that's like if the fight's difficulty is based on an enemy's moveset, I've historically liked it and enjoyed it a lot. If the fight's difficulty is based on instead of a moveset, the enemy having like a really boring moveset and essentially just being a really big fucker, then I find that I don't usually enjoy it. And that I think is there's like a few bosses that their moveset is essentially big easy boss that is just kind of like a big fucker, and I hate those all of those fights.
Well, it's also like there's early on, it's like you have 5 health mass essentially, but so many enemies do 2 hits on those boss fights, so it's like it's such a bad combo of, like, I don't even have an even number of health bars to deal with this. It's like so then it just
Mm-hmm.
annoys you even more so. Man, and I bought it because I hadn't bought it for a while, but it's like, "Oh, I'll buy the one that lets you heal more." But it's like, you just instead of healing more in one animation, it's 2 heal animations. I'm like, "That seems
Oh.
really bad." I was like, "Why? Why
I
would
So
you do
really
basically,
this?"
you're stuck
wish
in place for longer.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you combine that with the protect you from being hit, then it's like, oh, if your first one gets hit, it nullifies it, but you still get the second one off. And I feel like that's the combo is doing that. But yeah, I was like, why would you do this? I want to buy that cling to the wall ability or like a trinket, but I'm like, do I really need it? Like maybe there's like a crazy parkour bit, but I'm like, it could be good in some spots. I'm usually fine with like just sliding down or jumping back up a little bit. Oh man, the one section that annoyed me, it was just like it was that one part. I think it's at the bottom of the Cogware core. When you're trying to, they have the cogs sliding up and down. You have to jump on the walls. You have to jump on the cogs, and yet, but I just want to open up the shortcuts. I don't know why that was giving me so much trouble, but it's like it was the hitbox on the cogs were really annoying. Like, I
Mhm.
felt like you had to hit them in, like, the 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock position. Like, if you try to hit them at 12 or even 1, I felt like it didn't count, at least with the diagonal attack.
oh man, I'm finding that I absolutely love like the platforming sections in this game. I've really enjoyed like almost all the platforming.
Oh, yeah, I
I've
enjoy, like,
hated
so
all
many others, but the Cogwork one just annoyed me, and I don't know why. It was like, it was that one part where, okay, so it's like you pogo off the one cog, you go on the left wall, then you have to wait for there's the two going up and down. You go to the right wall, then you go to the left wall that has the spikes below it, and then you have to jump pogo off the cog to go up on the platform to open up the shortcut. And like for some reason, that cog that you have to jump off of, like it just annoyed me. Either it would be I'd time it wrong, and then or I'd hit too far on like the left side to where I couldn't go up high enough, and then I couldn't reach the platform, and it pissed me off. And it was just like, I don't know, it was something about that. The cog hitbox, I feel like, was just really weird for pogoing, and it was driving me bonkers. Like, I hate you. I just that one sector, but I like pogoing elsewhere, like the white flowers, the red flower buds, the off spikes, doing whatever. Like that's the swinging spikes in Sinner's Road. I'm like, I'm fine doing that, but the cogs piss me off, man. I don't know why. I also hate that. Is there so you know that the one section when you go to after you go through that main door from the last judge, there's like the scale room, but then there's also the area to the right that lets you go down. But like I hate having to do that scale bit every single time if I have to go back that way for some reason. Like you don't need to. But like I made the mistake of going to Bellheart and there's the guy like, oh, we want you to deliver some supplies. I'm like, oh, this is super easy. I'll go to Songclave. And I was like, and they hit you with the Death Stranding 2, but you can't
Yeah.
use the DHV Magellan. And I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, and don't get hit. And I'm like, God damn it.
That
Mhm.
part in my honestly, like semi spoilers, but like that part is one that when you have the other platforming abilities makes way more sense. Like when you can actually double jump, it just is the scales in particular is what I'm talking about, is like so much easier when you can actually double jump because you don't need to like hit a scale up or down in order to move up. You can just make the jump yourself.
Yeah. I
Like
just hate that
whatever
they
position they're
reset.
in.
I wish they'd stay in the position I left them, because at least if you complete the platforming, for the most part, a lot of them are in the position they need to be. And to reset them doesn't take that many to get to where the shortcut is. But it's like they all start out flat, and that's like, okay, I gotta do them all now. I gotta hit them. It's like I wish they would just stay how they were when I left them.
That section, the courier delivery, when you have to do that was like, ooh.
I was like, I shouldn't have picked
That one
Songclave.
stressed me out. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be easy, but yeah, now that I know that I have to, because just don't get hit. And I was hoping like, oh, maybe resting at the bench will heal some of this stuff. It's like, nope.
Nope.
It's like, oh, damn it. It's like I can't mess up because you got to go through the one section right before the last judge again. I'm like, oh, I know I'm gonna fuck up and mess up one of these somehow because now I got extra pressure on me to not get hit. But
I don't think I'm gonna be doing those because I'm just bad. I'm bad at the game. I fall constantly, and I'm just like I call it the float of shame, where I get to the very top of what I'm trying to do, and I miss the very last thing because I'm an idiot and I pushed the wrong button, and I just float, and Hornet just looks incessantly annoyed at me, and I'm just like, I'm
Just
so
looks
sorry.
pissed off and
She just looks pissed.
disappointed.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, she's not mad. She's disappointed in me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the game. Like I like how much you explore in that like Grand Cathedral area, and it's like, and the music is so good in the one main section. I love that song is which is so funny because like sometimes it'd be like so annoying. I'm like, oh, thank God this music's here for when I have to run back to this boss. At least it helps. But and like again, some of the lore stuff is interesting. Like that, I talked about that one bug or that one like back to tank you find in the lower levels, and it's like, oh, this is interesting. What's going on here? And then
This
I'm
is
curious.
creepy.
Yeah, what's happening? What bug in the tank? What are you doing? What's going on there? You know who I am. What's going on? So that, like the lore implications that seemed interesting. So I'm curious like how much it was gonna be way more Sekiro kind of with its lore versus like a Bloodborne, even though it's not like because the main character talks and there's like seems to be way more dialogue about like what's going on in the world and whatnot. And like you said, with the reading the bestiary and having like that kind of extra layer and what have you. But I love how that centipede with the hat and he's like, oh, you took the recording from the thing, blasphemy. And you're like, there's no one there, so no one's following these rules. And he's like,
I hate that bug. He scares the shit out of me every fucking time I go in there.
I
he
keep
pops out
expecting
everywhere.
him. I keep expecting him to turn evil somehow and like get pissed off at me for something because he just pops out everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything you do, he's like, I'm so disappointed in you. And it
Mhm.
hasn't happened yet, but I just keep like expecting him to be like, now you've done it. Now you've taken this and I am suddenly a boss fight.
I
Yeah.
think he's just an asshole, and he scared the shit out of me the first time I went in the room, so I
Hmm.
left, and then I very cautiously went back in, and I'm like, "Oh, you're a guy that I talked to." And so I was jumping around the rest of the room just looking for things, and you go to pick up the one that's like in the top corner or whatever, and he
Hmm.
pops out again, and I'm just like, I'm leaving. I've had
Yeah.
enough of you."
It's funny, the cylinder was right below him, like, the rest of his body's, like, snaked down below. I'm like, "You couldn't find it there? Like, did he
He's
know it
like,
was there?"
Don't jump around here. Everything's delicate and precise." I'm like, there's a thing up here. What are you talking? Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm tired of
There's
you."
there's too many flying bugs in the game, and they I found that boomerang
Flying
weapon
bugs
that's
are
supposed to be
awful.
for the flying bugs. I'm like, "That boomerang weapon sucks." Like, "This isn't good for flying bugs." But,
Mhm.
Yeah, the
uh,
flying weapon is awful. The boomerang bugs are awful. Or not the boomerang bugs. Flying bugs just yeah, they suck. They're fucking horrible.
yeah, I hate the ones too that, like, when you jump to attack them, they float away even further. I'm like, "Oh, damn
I
it, stop
used
it."
the like, one of the tools you get at the very beginning, the little spiky ball thing, like she had in her boss fights in the first Hollow Knight. I use
Mhm.
that, and I usually just jump and throw it, like, at the enemy,
Yeah.
that way it explodes on them, and it
I
tends to work.
I I I'm still a little confused, like, I'm assuming if it's out in the air, if they hit it, that's what causes it to shoot out spikes, but if their body bumps into it, that's what causes it to become a little caltrop, and then it, like,
Mhm.
does continuous damage? Okay, because I was like,
Yeah.
sometimes, like, I expect it to do the caltrop thing, but it doesn't. It does the blast out. I'm like, "But I didn't see an attack animation from any of the bugs," and so but, that combined
So
with the poison, I think is really cool,
it
but
basically does the same thing where it shoots all of the spikes out, but if they're on top of it, all of the spikes just hit them immediately. So it's
yeah,
like
and it does, like
if it explodes with something isn't close, but they're close to it, they'll get a few hits of it, but if they're right on
yeah.
top of it, every spike hits them.
Yeah, I like that because you do again, and then combined with the poison for that extra little damage.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more damage it's doing, so I'm like, I
It's
can't
just
like
like
I'd have
it's a few like lingering ticks or whatever, but
yeah,
sometimes those lingering ticks are the things that keep me alive, so I tend to
I
keep it
think the
on.
poison tool is like the strongest combo in the game, honestly.
Mhm.
Because it only
yeah,
does a few extra ticks, but like when you're talking about boss fights where the bosses have a shit ton of health and some bosses you can only really get like a single hit or two in before they go into a major whatever, attack
mhm.
animation, getting the like one or two extra ticks I think is a game changer.
I
Yeah.
just wish I'd know, like, is a tick a hit or is it like 2 ticks equals 1 hit? Like, I wanna know what the ratio is, you know what I mean?
I think
Yeah.
it's based on what your tool damage is. So whatever damage your tool is doing, it's just kind of doing an extra hit of that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, because it'd be like obviously put them together, but it's like sometimes I'd be because I don't know what other combo I would use or what other item I would use in its place. I wish I can get better at not requiring the compass. That way I can put something better in that slot. Not that I have a lot of good stuff, but there are better things you can buy. Like I think the wall hook is something that I'd probably replace the compass with. But I was like, I need to get better at like
Have you
remembering the
upgraded your
layout.
crest so that you can just have like two or three?
Yeah, but I have the main crest at like max, but it's like you only have like you can have 2 weapons, 2 blues, 2 yellows, and that's it, but I use like, for the yellow, I use the compass, and then I forget what my other yellow is. It's I the gravity for the rosaries because I don't because you drop so many rosaries in the section of the cathedral, I'm like and they drop so many of them. I'm like, I want them to get so I use the gravity ability to pull them towards me. It's like, I need a 3rd one, and I'm hoping there's, like, a good crest later that's a nice weapon set with a good pogo that I could switch to,
I
but
basically have like I wish you could have loadouts for multiple crests because I have like an right now I have it set up where I have like an exploring crest and then I have a boss fight crest.
Mhm. Oh, yeah,
So I
yeah,
have them
yeah.
like loaded out with specific things and it's like I want to use but there's like my exploring crest I would like to use for boss fights because obviously I'm more used to that thing and I don't have to like do a couple tries to get used to the new move set again. So it's just like I wish I had a loadout for my crests so I don't have to like manually swap my little arms and stuff.
Yeah, because 'cause you're just like, "Oh, it's a boss fight. I'll take out the compass because I know the run back. I'll put
Mhm.
on maybe I'll put on the weighted belt if I need to or something just to help." get more hits in when they're if I have that kind of window, so I don't have to keep running towards them or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I hate too when like as I get off the bench and then I go to change something. It's like, no, you got to be sitting on the bench. I'm like, I'm right next
I
to the
know, I
bench.
forget all the time. Or I'll like leave the room and go ways and I'm like, oh, I thought I wanted to change a thing. I gotta go back. I can't just change it.
I do
Come
kind
on.
of wish that in general you didn't have to be on a bench to change things because I feel like there's an in between with what they wanted to accomplish of like you have to be at a bench to change things and them not wanting you to just be able to like do stuff on a fly. There's got to be an in between where like you can change certain things on the fly and other things would have to be at a bench because the bench is like I don't know. I think it prevents me from actually trying stuff out when I
Mhm.
can't actually change it regularly.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish that especially because like, there's so many tools, like, if the boomerang was good, it'd be like, "Okay, here's a section where I gotta go vertical, and there's a lot of flying guys or something," and it's like, I'll equip the boomerang really quick, and, like, maybe only have the crest switching be tied to benches, but have,
Yeah.
like, maybe tools not, and maybe, the, little perks and what have you, but, yeah, it's weird that it's all locked behind the bench.
Like only tools or only crests, like something where, maybe that lets you use different loadouts, but maybe you can't change tools instead, or like just some in between to actually get people experimenting. Because as it stands, I don't usually change things almost ever. I pretty much just stick with the one hunter's crest. And then I do think it's kind of a shame that like you don't really get the other crests that early. They all kind of come pretty late. Or they come long enough that you've gotten really comfortable with the hunter's crest. So then
Mhm.
you're just not incentivized to change anything.
Yeah, I wish they had them earlier, but I also wish there was like a pogo range, like a shooting range, so that way you can like practice pogoing with the new crest you want to switch to. Because there's
It's
like,
hunter's
n-
march, dude.
yeah, I guess
That's
go
the
there, but
hunter's march.
yeah, I want something better, like where it's not so punishing if I mess up or something. But let me practice like in a flat straight line, just a long row of them where I can just bounce between them or something like that. But yeah, it would be nice if you can change them elsewhere. Uh, it's all it's like the price increase of like stuff when you find that one vendor. I forget who she is. I think she's kind of spider-ish, but like she's got like all those. She's got that exoskeleton suit that lets you do that reverse dash if you want. I did purchase that. I don't really use it a whole lot, but I was like, I'll buy this.
Exoskeleton suit. Oh, the scuttle brace thing.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
scuttle brace. It's like
I
it
was like,
looks
what
The
the
like
fuck
the
thing
are you
where I
talking
thought it was just
about?
a backdash and then I held the button. I was like, "Ooh, I hate that. I have to take it off immediately."
Yeah, I did not enjoy that one.
Forgot that Hornet was a spider and now she's doing the things and I don't want it.
That's funny. But yeah, there's like the cost increase or everything. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But the enemies drop like a lot more. It's like, okay. But uh
Mhm.
but yeah, it's like there was like one bit where I was like, I noticed I had like a ton of it's like in Dark Souls, like, oh, I got a ton of souls, I got a ton of blood echoes. I didn't even realize. And then right before I found that vendor, I lost a bunch of them in that stupid section where you got to get your grapple ability. And I was like, God damn it. I think that those silk collector things, whatever the consumables, I think that's
Mhm.
really cool because no other, as far as I know, no other Souls or Souls likes have a way to collect your runes or your currency, or whatever, with a consumable, right? There's no like Neo doesn't do that. Like I haven't played
Not that
Neo,
I
so
could think of. Dark Souls has like you can use a consumable so that if is it Dark Souls or Bloodborne? One of them has the thing where like there's consumables so that when you're doing the run back, if you die, you don't actually lose your stuff. But that's not quite the same as what it is here, where it's like it just automatically collects it for you.
yeah, because it's like I've used. I mean, I've only found like 3 of those consumables, but it's like I've used all of them at this point because there's like been a couple times I'm like, I don't want to rally back. I'm just gonna collect them, spend them, and they or convert them to rosaries, and then go out and do it. But I think that's a really cool mechanic. I still wish games would adopt the Liza P method because I think that's a much better method. But it's cool to see that there's like this new retrieval mechanic in a Souls like um,
Mhm.
kind
And
of
it's a
game. I'm like,
consumable item that's like limited, so you have to ration it a little bit because you
mhm.
never know where you're gonna find the next one. So you're like, do I really want to use it right now? Is it gonna be beneficial? Like, am I just gonna go somewhere else or am I just gonna go back to where I was? So it's kind of
Yeah.
nice.
I
Yeah,
had
I
one
went
where it's like
ham using them. I think I'm all out now.
that's yeah. I had one where like I was like, okay, I'll just run back and get it. But then I got in a fight that kind of annoyed me. And I was like down to one mask. And I was like, I might be able to make it, but I was like, I'm just gonna quickly go to the menu, and because at least they don't attack, and just consume it and just get my stuff back. And be like,
Mhm.
no, I'm not. I know I'm close, but I'm probably not gonna live through this fight. And I've had that happen too many times where like I've died on the way back. Like, damn it, all those dang rosaries are gone. There's not
I will
enough.
say that I had quite a few of them saved up because I'm a hoarder.
Uh-huh.
Save the mega elixir to the boss fight and then you don't use the mega elixir in me. So I have quite a few of them saved up, but the area that I was in the last couple days, I used them all because this place sucks so
Was it
bad.
the area that I guessed when you
Yeah,
made that comment? Okay.
yeah. Where I keep falling in worms. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, I wish there was more of those uh rosary converter machines inside the Grand Cathedral. Like it's annoying that there's not like you have to go to the vendor. Not that it's hard to get to a vendor necessarily, because I think the vendor at Songglaive can make rosaries.
Yeah, she
If
can.
not, okay. If not, it's like it's easy just to teleport to the Grand Chorus and then take the fast travel someplace else. But it's like I wish there was more of just those machines lying around so I can convert them easier without needing to go out of my way to, do it. I hate the spider bugs with the hats, dude, and the blade arms.
In the
Only
vault.
because
Dude,
it's like I
they're
never can
fucking
guess when they're
awful.
gonna jump. And it's like when they jump, that pisses me off. And there's this one below the one place with the centipede guy where there's a movable block, and usually I just run past him and then I smack that movable block and just destroy him. And I'm like, it's so satisfying. I'm like, I fucking hate you. The attack patterns just piss me off. I'm like, come on, man. It's like stop jumping. But yeah.
The ones
Otherwise,
that cling to the ceiling are the worst. I hate. So I will say, like, this follows the pattern of the bosses. 80% of the bosses are phenomenal and way better than Hollow Knight, and 20% of the bosses are the worst bosses that have ever been designed in a video game, and I don't know what they were thinking. And I kind of feel the same way with enemies of like most of the enemies are, in my opinion, good enemy design. They're like a balance between it's a good mob to have in the game that you have to kill like multiples of, and it's not like too frustrating after you learn it the first time. But man, the fucking like bell throwing flying guys that just like throw a bell and then juke away from you, and they're
Mhm.
like, actually, I'm gonna be over here now, are so fucking frustrating. I'm just like, can you just fight me? Can you just not like throw a bell and then immediately dash backwards?
yeah, there's so many flying guys, dude. It's like it's crazy how many flying enemies there are in the game. And
There's
it's
a
like,
lot.
why? Why? And I
And it's
hate the
like, "Oh,
ones that
we
just
gave you the tools to fight them." It's like, "The tool doesn't always work, okay?"
yeah. And it's like I just want to attack them, just bring them back here. Yeah. It's like there's
"Get
just
down
so
here
many.
and fight me."
Yeah. But yeah,
Also,
it's
I'm out of shards, so I can't use half the tools anyways.
oh
I'm
that's I
constantly running out of shards because I die to boss fights constantly. So I go into a boss fight with no tools, and I'm like, "Okay, I should have
I,
prepared better."
I thought that rosaries would be the thing that I had to hoard, and it turns out it was like the shards. I didn't expect that based on like early game having way too many shards. But then as soon
Mhm.
as I got tools I liked and started using them, I was like, ah, yes, I understand now.
mhm.
I see the problem.
Yeah. I wish there were for bosses again, it's the health bar because I'm like, I want to know like if I lose a fight where I used a bunch of like the poison caltrops or whatever, it's like I wish I knew how much damage I did with that stack, so I can kind of judge like, okay, I'll wait for this because at least a boss that has like a clear second phase. And so, okay, I can assume, okay, I've hit them a couple times. Now I'll use it. Versus like a boss that doesn't really have one. It's just like, okay, here's the fight.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like I just wish I knew how much because then I can time the usage of them better. Like versus like because like for the theater bug, I'd be like, okay, I'll just spam caltrops where he comes out real quick and then just hit him right away. You just use a bunch of them and then just hit him, fight him normally later on or something.
And then
But
little did you know, Theater Bug, that he can defeat Caltrops.
well, when he's spinning,
I
yeah, he
was
will. But
so mad. I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna put a bunch of them down, and he's gonna zip over them," and then he just like flung them away. I was like, "Just kill me so I can go get another tool."
yeah, at least I'm glad at least you can hit those little the balls that he throws out because like you can
Mhm.
smack those. I'd be like to move them elsewhere. I'd be like, okay, that's a little annoying, but at least you can just hit him away. Be like, nah, get out of here. But and I love how he's just feigning death and like you can hear him like heavy breathing when you go above the stage and he's like, "Mm." Then he dropped down and he plays dead again. And I'm like, okay, you gonna pop back up again like later in another fight? But
I was expecting him to pop back up either as like a NPC or something.
yeah.
I really wanted him to be an NPC and just be like, I like you. I know you're gonna be flamboyant and crazy, and you're just gonna have like the weirdest stuff going on with you. And I want to do your quest, and I want to see what's going on. And oh, okay,
Heck,
I
go put
understand.
on a show at Songglaive. You know, there's bugs up there
Yeah.
who are like disenchanted by the nature of the world. Go help them out.
Oh, imagine if you could send him to the fleas. Oh my god, they'd be a
That'd be
little
That'd be
cool.
really
circus.
cute.
They'd be
If
the
you could
little
send them to the
circus.
fleas, yeah, that'd be really cute.
It's
I
so
love
cool.
when you find the one bug where she's in the hot tub and like in the like just chilling, relaxing, like, hey, red bug, come chill with me. I'm like, well, they're
Yeah,
stranded right
Sherm is a
now.
he.
Irma.
Sherm is
Oh,
a
okay,
he.
I couldn't tell. I did the way they talk. I was like, oh, maybe they're bugs. I don't know, but I was like, oh, they're chilling out in the hot spring. Like, let's have some fun.
You
But
just hear him
like,
like
yeah,
giggling and splashing. I'm
yeah,
like, oh, you're so precious.
yeah.
Sherm is the
Took
best bug. Gotta protect.
Mhm.
But now they're like, oh, the place is a little weird. But I'm glad that the curmudgeon bug at that Songglaive was like seems to be coming around, even though everybody's showing up there.
The
Like,
curmudgeon
okay,
bug.
well, because they were like, ah, you ring the bell, now everyone's gonna show up now, damn it.
And
And then
they
now they're
have
kind of like,
little moments where they're like, "Oh, you really made this place a little haven for all the pilgrims. I hate it. There's too many people around." I'm like, "Okay,
yeah,
whatever. You
yeah.
dare a bug."
Also, I wish like that. So in Bellhart, I have a job board there. It's like donate 400 rosaries. I'm like, I
Mhm.
wish I knew the outcome of doing this. Like, is it worth it? Because like the rebuilding the one place, it's like eventually once you do that, there's this. They have the statue of the guy. They give you a little mini statue, which just lets you get more shards if you want to consume it. I'm wondering what happens if you destroy his statue. Like, do you just get a bunch of shards? Do they get mad? Does he rebuild it? You know?
Well,
Well, you would
if
feel
the
bad because you're a bad person. You killed
Yeah,
this little thing.
that's why I didn't do it.
if the bridge breaks though, you don't get to rebuild the bridge. So I'm kind of assuming if you break the big statue, you don't get to rebuild it.
Yeah, I when I broke the bridge by mistake, I felt so bad. I was like, "Oops, my bad." But I think when the bug comes in and runs around, and destroys stuff, they might destroy the bridge as well. But
The bug can destroy it.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, the bug can destroy it because the bug destroyed it in my game, but I don't think it has to. I think it just depends on like where it runs because it doesn't run all the way over there if you like charge the
yeah,
bug.
yeah,
Yeah, I specifically led it away from the bridge like area because I was like, no, you're not gonna do this. I spent too much money on this.
yeah,
And you've killed my friends. I don't want to deal with it.
yeah. I mean, I would have gone down. I went down there anyways because I forget what I was doing. That's how it led me down to that one tank bug I was talking about. So I was like, oh, okay. So I would have probably had to. I think there's another way to get down there. I don't remember, but I was like, I think that's the main path at least. So I would probably destroyed it on my own to go back down. Because one of those song doors are down there. But yeah, it's a good game. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot. I like the art, I like the music, I like the combat. I've really enjoyed the game. I hate Savage Beastfly.
Yeah, I'm on that. I have that job board. It's like, hey, go kill this savage beast fly. I also what annoys me too is like whenever it's I was doing that look for the lost merchant's brother or whatever, and it's like you check the stuff. It does like a little sparkly path you got to follow, but that shit like loops around to the left in Greymore. But then it's like
Mhm.
but it takes too long to search to where it fades away. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go to Sinner's Road and explore there. But it leads you to Sinner's Road anyways. I'm like, why are you
Mhm.
taking me on the left? Why?
'Cause
You
you
just
gotta follow you're following his little path that he took. I know, I was so mad. I was like, "It just looped why didn't you oh, okay, fine."
yeah,
If
because
you
it
know
was
where to go, you can skip those. So it's like an
Yeah.
interesting thing of like if you find it on your own, it can be way faster, or you could take the circuitous path and it will like tell you where to go.
yeah. Like I'm sure if I had just gone to Sinners Road and I found that was annoying too. Like I was gonna do something and I hit up by mistake on one of his things where there was a bug that was throwing little shit at me and I was like, God damn it. I was like, I'm stuck in this chucking the thing animation. Can't get out of it, not get hit by this other bug. It's like, yeah, if I had just gone straight there or something, it would have been fine. But I was like, I give up on you. I'm just gonna go check out Sinners Road for a bit. And it's like, oh, there he is. Getting attacked by bugs anyway, so it all worked out. But yeah. It's got some areas I can still explore. Just gotta go do them and then go up and continue the MSQ and the main cathedral, find get the other song cylinder and whatnot. Go through there. So I probably should do that first. I'm assuming that's where double jump is. So you can go up to the middle part of the Cogger core. But we'll see. It's just a good time. Fun playing. Uh,
I can't remember how you get to the middle part of the Cogwar core. I'm like, is it the double jump?
unless there's a way, there's like going up the left leads you, has a shortcut that goes to the cog core, which is probably totally valid. It just feels like, because you in the bottom is where I got the ring, the grapple ability, which allows me
Yeah.
to get to the second song. So I'd assume the second song would give me ability to get to the third song. But anyway,
Wait, what ability
uh,
does the second song give you?
again, that's I'm guessing, because you have to get the grapple to get to the second song.
Oh yeah,
So
and this is not spoilers. This is more of just like I got those
oh,
songs and then started doing map cleanup, so I just like truly don't remember where you get certain shit already.
so that's just my assumption, because I can get to the first song just fine. You need, obviously, you have the wall climb thing because you get that earlier. But it's like you get the ability to get to the second spot. I'm assuming the second spot gives you the ability to get to the third spot. Now you have all those abilities, and maybe there's more later in the game, but at least that one comes in, because it's like I need it to get up from the main area. I need a double jump.
Now,
But
something that sort of worries me about this game is I think I'm like right near the end of the game and I have like 10% of the trophies. And I feel like I've explored a ton of shit and done a ton of stuff. So I'm like, I haven't been looking at the trophies because I don't want spoilers. But I'm also like, what the fuck are the other trophies for?
yeah, there's some. I know some.
Secret
Yeah,
things.
yeah. There's some stuff. You'll know when you get there. But yeah.
Yeah. Have you looked at them already? Do you already know?
No, no, I heard someone talk when I was listening to people talk about the game in non-spoiler fashion. They said some things. I'm like, okay, that makes total sense. That it's one of, I could relate it to another game to you that would tell you kind of like, I guess, non-spoiler, but just about like how long the game is, because they were talking about their play times. And I'm like, based on my play time, because they're saying like, oh, I did this by this many hours. I'm like, oh, I'm close to that many hours, and then I put in X amount more hours into the game doing some stuff, and it's like, okay, so I don't want to. I'll if you want, I can put the other game I can relate it to in your chat, just to not spoil it. But
I think not until I beat the boss.
okay,
Or
but
beat what I think is the final boss. I think I should not spoil it until then because I'm pretty sure I'm close to the end of the game. So I feel like as soon as I actually beat the boss, I'll know, and then I'll know if I need spoilers or not, or I'll just straight up understand what you're talking about.
yeah, okay, that's fine. But all right, I guess we go ahead and call it there. Talked a lot about Silksong. I'm sure we'll continue talking about it next week, and then yeah, unless I play something else, I'll probably still play Borderlands. Probably won't have too much more to talk about it, because like I'm just having a good time. Unless something like crazy happens that really like changes my perspective of the game or something like that. But
The first
yeah.
round of nerfs, for example.
Well, right now
Because
they got to work on.
that always happens with Borderlands. You get your first round of nerfs, and then suddenly it's like, oh, this game fucking sucks because you nerfed the 6 abilities I love using.
Yeah, they gotta work on the performance stuff first. The balance, I think, no doubt. But all right, we'll go ahead and call it there. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Izzy. Thank you, Zai, for joining.
Yep.
And we'll see you all next time.
Later.
Bye.